So after building a physique for 2.5 years, I have realized the brutal reality of getting jacked. And it's people being mad jealous of you, getting in, heated arguments with other people in fitness because they have their own philosophy, and even girls being intimidated. So with the whole jealousy thing, right? You start lifting, let's say after 3 months you lift, you think that people might notice. People don't. So that pushes you to go more. Then after 6 months, which is what I call the 6-month hurdle, this is when most people start getting noticed that they just lift in the first place. After this point, people might already start being jealous of you. It depends on your genetics, but you start filling out shirts more and everything. People will ask, oh, bro, have you been lifting? This and that. And people will start to respect you more, which is great and everything. This is the part where most people are on your side. They say, oh, keep going, bro. Keep lifting. You look great. This and that. And it can even be that after a year. But after that 2-year mark, this is when things start to take a downward spiral because people will start maybe being jealous of you and hating. You post content on TikTok because this is when you start having more confidence. So you just start posting stuff online of yourself. People from all over the world could see you. Your friends from school will see you, especially if you post on TikTok a lot like I do. Check out the TikTok, BeanieBeast. But this is when people are just like saying just random shit. And they don't want you to see because they start feeling insecure themselves. And this is what starts to motivate them to start lifting, right? They might lash out at you, whatever, but this is the part where they will start lifting. And silently on the side, they envy you, but they just don't want to directly say it to your face because it hurts their own ego. Ego in high school, especially, is very fragile in most people. They get their egos shattered very quick. If you say something that hits them hard, it will silently crush them. Temporarily, of course, but it will hit hard. So even with all the jealousy, you got to just do it anyway. For yourself. Some of y'all say, oh, I just do it for myself. But a lot of y'all are just doing it for the girls or the attention. If you do it for both, predominantly for yourself, that's just like the best combo. When you have both, let's say there were no girls in the world at all. Would you still be lifting? Now, if you just hesitated at that question for just a few seconds, I know your answer. It's you won't keep lifting if there are no girls because you're just doing it for girls and validation, which can get you through a bit in the beginning, but will it really be a thing long term for you? No, you'll probably burn out. When the littlest things get in the way, you fucking take a break. So that's why if you do it for yourself mainly, you will just push through, build this habit long term, and actually become jacked, which is what you would want to be, right? This is the whole reality of getting jacked. You got to deal with just jealousy and hate and whatever, even just 2 years. Now, I'm not even that crazy, but compared to most people in my school, I noticeably am bigger. I fill out shirts more, and I filled out my frame quite a bit. At my height, being like 180, around that, completely different to the guys that are 5'10", that are 150, which a lot of kids in my school are around 150. That seems to be the average mark. So I literally have 25, 30 pounds over them while still not being bloated because most of that weight on the scale is muscle. 2 years after lifting, you got a lot of your newbie gains already, and you look noticeably different to people around you. Now, another thing that changes when you get jacked, the other part of the reality, is you become more intimidating to girls. Now, the real truth with all this is you might be, wanting to gain all this muscle in the beginning to get girls, to get more attention in this. And this will certainly help you. But don't let these motherfuckers trick you into thinking that that's all that matters. If you become too big and too muscular, girls will start being intimidated. If you take it too far, of course, start thinking that you're a gym cell and that you're very serious all the time. You're not really as approachable as when you were this little twig or whatever, which is crazy because a lot of girls still go out with the 140-pound, 150-pound twigs because they're just more like happy-go-lucky. They don't really take everything so seriously. So the big key here is when you are getting jacked, if you want a lot of girls, don't make the gym be everything. For me, I've went a bit and beyond over this rule because I want to be a fitness content creator. So I'm letting it be my identity. I don't really care. Yes, I'm known as that gym rat in school. That's fine. But if you're not really in it for the content or for the long haul, don't let it become your whole identity. If you're going to use dating apps, if you're going to take pictures, don't do these crazy like poses, top-down lighting shots and all that crap. Just take like your shirt off at the beach, look to the side, having the ab show, and that's good enough because it shows your lifestyle, which is like being adventurous, being on the beach, but you're still also getting that physique thing in there as well without it being totally direct and overboard. Girls, for some reason, they really get attracted to lifestyle. Like if they see you in the forest, like a lumberjack, it's all stereotypes, right? The gym just isn't as attractive as a stereotype as actual lifestyles. Like if you're the beach boy, or if you're the bad boy, or if you're the nature lumberjack kind of guy, or if you're just the frat boy, all these things, those archetypes, whether you think they're good or bad, is a hell of a lot better than the gym rat fucking stereotype, unfortunately. So you kind of have to be careful. But if you don't really give a fuck, if you don't care about girls, if you're the type that's just gonna let them come to you, then you don't gotta worry about this as much. But girls will be intimidated, and you might think in the beginning that, oh, girls are complimenting me on physique. It's actually gonna become to the point where there are more dudes complimenting your physique than anything. That's happened for me. Yes, girls notice my shit, especially if I walk in the halls with a wife beater on. Yes, I get a lot of looks, but dudes compliment me way more than anything, and it's been that for the longest time, and it's gonna keep being that, especially as I get more and more jacked. So that's just the brutal reality with girls in school. Now, next off, with this whole reality of getting jacked is you might start to clash with your parents a little bit, and you might be thinking, how? Parents, wouldn't they support you? Well, they could distract you from your goal. And if depending on your parent, they could be a little jealous as well. Like, let's say you're cutting, right? Let's say you're in a deep cutting phase and you're trying to lose weight like I am to get very lean for the summer. Like if the family's going out somewhere and let's say it's like Cheesecake Factory or Panera Bread, a place where there's a lot of junk food on the menu, and you bring out your meal prep containers, right? They're gonna say something, especially if you have a bigger family going out, even if it's just 2, 3 other people. They're gonna say something, and they're gonna try to make you feel down, like, oh, you're a party pooper, you're this, you're that, you're so obsessed, bro. But you can't let that get you. You gotta have that strong mind. You gotta be thinking, this is who I wanna be. I want these certain goals achieved, which is being lean and being healthy. If you want the goals bad enough, you gotta go through it. Fuck what other people have to think. Bring your chicken and rice to school, to dinners, whatever. Now, you don't have to do this every time, once a week or once every 2 weeks. Indulge a tiny bit because you are, growing teenager, you gotta have some fun here and there, but don't let this become a fucking habit. Obviously, want you to do the 100% whole foods rule, but if you can only do 9-10, whatever, it's still 90-10. It's still a lot of whole foods, which congrats on that. Most people your age aren't fucking doing that. And then the other thing is when you start really getting more knowledgeable on the topic of fitness and your family, was once a lifter, you're saying this and that about your goals, they might like counteract with something. They might be like, nah, you should do this, or oh, nah, you don't got to do that, or back in my day, bench 405 for real. The problem with that is that I know they're trying to be the best in terms of support, trying to get you to your goal, but a lot of their information that they've gathered back in the day in previous generations are outdated. It's just outdated information. That's the brutal truth is, why would you trust someone that was around back in the day with outdated information that maybe trained unoptimally compared to the modern science where you have like Jeff Nipper and all these YouTubers actually giving like studies and real information, and even bodybuilders now. Why would you trust their old shit, your parents' old shit, versus the new shit? When you're deep into the space like me, you're always researching about fitness, you're looking up videos, podcasts, you're applying that information, you're getting results. That's when you know that this new information is the shit, and that the old info that your parents have gotten, it just doesn't work anymore. That's something I've experienced. It might not be everything for you. That's why I'm saving this till the end of the video. But all of this stuff is the brutal reality of getting jacked, especially in school. This is all the stuff you got to deal with. It's up to you whether or not you want to deal with it. Some people can obviously take it better than others, but for the most part, this is something that every gym rat has to deal with. If you agreed or relate to any of the things I've mentioned in this video, comment down below. I'd love to know. Now, see ya.